So I want to make this pickled chilies. It's basically a hot pepper sauce. And I'm using these mixed hot chilies. Now before when I make this, I always go just for the Scotch bonnet chili peppers. But now I like to switch it up, like really add some different ones. And this is a really good one because as they sell this hot mixed chili selection. So I'm using this. I've actually opened it already. I did a recipe beforehand and I'm just using the rest now. Now with the chilies, I add some mustard, vinegar, some oil. That's olive oil, and I always like to use olive oil because I think it really just gives it that extra flavor in it. But using a clear oil doesn't make any difference, like a vegetable or a sunflower. And some lemon, some salt. And I'm also using the vegetable stock cubes. Now, I prefer the Sainsbury's ones when it comes to this because that one is more crushable. This is a bit, like a sticky kind of thing. But the Sainsbury's ones I have, I cannot figure out if they're chicken or if they're vegetable. So, because I've mixed them all in a jar. So I'm going for the Asda one. And I also use black pepper, but I like to use the ground black pepper, which is the fine one, rather than the peppercorns, even though it's in a grinder, but when you grind it, it comes out coarse. Now, I don't like to see the pepper in the chili sauce, so I go for the ground, the fine one. And then I use some garlic as well. Now, the other thing I do is I use the blender and I use the food processor. And that's just because for the blender, it helps with the seeds. It really breaks off the seeds more than the food processor will. The blender wouldn't completely fine the seeds, grind it to fine, but it will help because the heat really does come from the seeds and the rind near the seeds, but yeah, so I'm going to do it separately. You'll see everything that I'm prepping the peppers, and I've basically just de-seeded them, and with this one I've also gone ahead and taken the top off. It's just much easier. And the garlic as well, I have about 6 there, even though I did once before say I don't like the number 6, so I've just peeled those. And for the garlic and the peppers, I'm going to be putting it in the blender. And that is just to basically mince them as much as they can. The seeds are not going to go away totally, but they will break up, and that will release the heat, really. And for the for the peppers, they're going in the food processor because I don't like them to be completely minced. I like the chili sauce to have some texture to it. So what we'll be doing is just putting this bit into the blender, and then I'll be adding there the mustard, something like the vegetable stock, because that really needs some help to mix it all up. And that's where I'll be adding everything else, especially for the liquid, as in the oil and the lemon and the vinegar as well. And might as well just go ahead and add the salt and the black pepper all in the blender. So in the food processor, all we'll have really is just for the chili peppers without the seeds. And once you're done with the blending, I'm going to pop everything back in here, and that's just to mix them all together thoroughly. I'll pop the peppers in, and this one, I've gone ahead and added one more garlic. Just me and my superstitious belief. So I'm now adding the black pepper. And with the black pepper, I think it's really important because it does season it quite well. And I'm putting in the stock cube and the vinegar. So I'm halving the vinegar, meaning same amount with the lemon. And the oil. I just might add a little bit more oil because this is finished. This is my Jamie Oliver extra virgin olive oil. I have another one. And what haven't I added? The salt. And I'll add the mustard. Oops. Yeah. And that's it. Just blend that. I will add some more oil, but I'll add just a tiny bit more. And a little bit more. I've added the more salt. And now just go ahead with this Napolina. So I've let it run for about 2 minutes doing the chilies. So you just want to stop it and take the top down. Just carry on. And this one, you just want to blend it to the texture that you like. So I'm watching just to see what size that I prefer. So I'm happy with this texture that I have. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the blender and we pour the contents in here just to mix it all together. And that's done really. Now, you don't have to stay basic as I've gone. You can go ahead and add whatever spice that you want to this. For example, spring onion is really good. And mixed herbs, you can do the dry one or the fresh one. You can add some coriander, just a little bit, or some cumin. Cumin has a good flavor and also smells really nice. But because you're making a hot chili sauce, always remember, don't overpower it. You know, when you open it, you want to smell that chili, and when you taste it as well. So whatever else you put there, let it just be the background notes. Also, ginger is very good. I actually do have ginger, but this is just the one that I've settled with. This is how I like to make it. So now I don't go ahead and add all those things. But not to say that they're not nice. They're good. Everyone has their own taste. So you just try out whichever one you want. And now we just want to mix these two together. Now I have the empty blender here. There's some pepper there, and you might think, oh, it's a big waste. Please don't add anything here to put it there, such as water or oil or nothing like that. Don't do that. Now, I always smile when I do this because I am going to add water here, but I'm not going to put it in my chili pepper sauce. I'm actually just going to put it in a pot because I'm making tilapia, which I love. So usually whenever I make hot pepper sauce, I always have a use for this blender which still has some pepper in it, but please don't add it here because you don't want water in here. Remember, this is something you're going to keep for a long time. Also, this is going to be kept in the fridge, so just go ahead, and you don't want it too watery, so just leave that as it is, I would say. It doesn't need to take any time at all. 5-10 seconds will do. And that's done. So it's all done really, and I've just gone ahead and put them in the jars, and I've done little labels for them. And I've also put the date, which can just help you figure out how long it does keep. I've never really had it go off on me, so I couldn't really say for that. That's the date. And yeah, with this one I have the full jar. Sorry, I can't tell you how many grams it is. I forgot to check. It's just an olive jar. And with this one, we don't have much there, but just about that much. And that's just with the pack that I showed you earlier, the 2-pound one from Asda's. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye.